Guys, welcome back to another video here, and today I just wanted to do a nice, simple, little video game pickups video. So I'm going to go through some stuff that I bought recently for myself, and maybe you could also use this as a little bit of a holiday gift guide. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first, I've got a couple of things here that I have to mention, and that's because these are actually things that were sent to me. This is another retro handheld, and if you're familiar with the channel, you know I absolutely love these things. This one is called the RG35XXH by Anbernic. I've reviewed some of Anbernic's handhelds before, and I have to say I am a big fan of them, and this is just another great one here. It's very comfortable. You can get these just loaded up with tons of retro games, and you can even add your own games yourself if you have a nice collection of ROMs. This, once again, was sent over to me by my friends over at MechDIY. Big thank you to them. And I'll put a link for their website down in the description so you can go and check out their website. They've got a ton of holiday deals going on right now, so definitely check them out. The other thing that I was sent that I of course have to share with you guys is this beautiful little classic original model 3DS here with a nice theme on it. This was sent over to me from RedProClub. I made a video covering these guys before. They restore and mod a lot of consoles, one of them being the 3DS, just like the one that you see right here. And they're doing a cool service for the community because they're fixing up old consoles that were abandoned and are not seeing love anymore. And they're fixing them up, loading them up with games, and making them available again. So definitely check out that link in the description as well. But now, let's get on to the games that I bought for myself this year. And I said this year, really these are just some purchases I made in the last couple of months. A bunch of them were from the recent Black Friday sales, and some of them were just stuff that I had pre-ordered. So first up, now this is one I just finished. We have Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8. I had such a great time with this game. I've been binging the Resident Evil series basically since earlier last year. I've played through all of the modern ones now, all of the remakes. The only Resident Evil games I haven't beaten at this point are the original Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 6, just because I didn't think it was that great. I actually ended up dropping that one. But my most recent one here, Resident Evil 8, highly recommend it. It's very similar to Resident Evil 4 in terms of setting and also kind of just the more actiony gameplay. 7 was definitely a lot scarier than this one, but this one definitely had its scary moments. But this is just another amazing game in the Resident Evil series, and I just can't wait to see what they do next. I highly recommend this one. I definitely recommend, though, if you do want to play Resident Evil Village, definitely at the very least play Resident Evil 7 first, because this game picks up right where Resident Evil 7 left off. So I think you'd be doing yourself a little bit of a disservice if you didn't play 7 first. That's Resident Evil 8, and I also recommend making sure you get the gold edition here, because it will come with a download code for the DLC, and I just started the DLC, and it's honestly scarier than the main game. I won't go into too many details, but I had to put it down for a bit, that's all I'll say. Next up here, this is a game that I had pre-ordered, and this is the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I was super excited for this game, and as you can see, I actually got my copy from Amazon Europe here. We got the little PEGI rating, and that's because this game was sold out everywhere when it first came out. I don't know if it still is, but I really wanted a physical copy. I prefer physical copies of games, as you probably can tell from looking at my room here. But I had to import it from Europe because I couldn't. I went to Target, I went to all of the local game shops the week that this came out, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I had to wait like an extra week for this copy to come. But it was definitely worth it. I think this game is great. It's a really nice fusion of classic 2D Zelda and like the modern open world Zelda games, because there's a very open approach to how you progress and puzzle solving and stuff, and you get so many tools to work with in this game for solving puzzles. It really does feel like, in some ways, a 2D Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but in a lot of ways it also feels like such a nice callback to the older kind of 2D Game Boy era of Legend of Zelda games, and I really like it for that. I unfortunately haven't finished this one yet. I'm taking a little bit of a break from it right now just because while I was enjoying it, I'm about maybe halfway through the game. I did kind of start to feel a little bit of that I won't call it burnout, but I was just like, you know, I don't think I'm really in the mood to be playing a 2D Zelda game right now, so I'm just gonna save the rest of it for later. But I absolutely recommend this one if you're a fan of classic Zelda. I'd say if you're more into the modern games, you know, you could go either way on it, but if you like classic Zelda, like the Game Boy games that I'm a really big fan of, this is definitely a new Zelda game for you. One more pre-order here, and actually no, that's a lie. There's 2 more pre-orders, but one more here, and that is Mario and Luigi Brothership. As you can see, it's still sealed, and that's not because I'm like trying to not play it or anything, but I was super excited for this game. I still am. I haven't started it yet, but I absolutely love the Mario and Luigi RPG series. I was just replaying Dream Team earlier this fall, and I really had a good time with that one. The only reason why I haven't cracked this one open yet, well, there's kind of 2 reasons. One, I saw that the performance is kind of not super great when playing this on the Switch, so I'm low-key kind of waiting for the Switch 2 to come out, and it's actually this, you know what? It's a similar story for Zelda as well. Both of these games, the performance isn't great in them, so I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just hold off and play them on the Switch too. But with that being said, I will jump into this one eventually, but the only reason why I haven't yet is because I'm playing a very, very huge RPG right now that I'm really enjoying, and I don't want to start 2 RPGs at once because one of them is going to end up not getting finished. So I don't want that to happen to either of these 2 games. I'll get to that RPG in a bit here. But yeah, Mario and Luigi Brothership is going to have to stay on the backlog for now, but I'm really excited to jump into it soon. And I lied, there was not 2 more pre-ordered games, there was actually 3. Here's the second one here. This is the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, I am not a huge fighting game guy at all. I'm very terrible at fighting games. I'd say I'm okay at Smash, but I'm definitely not competitive or anything. But the reason why I picked this up is mostly because the Marvel vs. Capcom games are always really hard to find, and this includes a lot of extra games as well. I see there's the Punisher on here, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, a couple other things. I do have a lot of respect for these games, and I dabbled in them a bit when I was younger, playing it on like the PS2 and stuff at my friend's house in high school. So I do have nostalgia for these games, so I figured, you know, this collection is just such a great way to have them all in one place. And I just love this box art so much, this new art they did. That just looks so cool. And I think these games are really cool, and I think I want to use this collection here as kind of an excuse to maybe get a little bit better at these games, because they look really cool. I'm just not good at them. But, you know, now I've got this nice collection, I'll get some practice in and maybe give you guys an update in the future. But with that being said, there's one more Switch game here, and I actually forgot it, so I have to go grab it really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to run out of the room because I keep all my Switch games in the living room, and I'm in my like little office room right now, and I forgot to grab this one. And I didn't want to skip talking about this because I really like this game. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just ran up and down the stairs. This is really sad. Okay. Super Mario Party Jamboree was a game when they announced this in the, Super Mario Party Jamboree is a game that I was so hyped for when it was announced. I love Mario Party, I really do. I used to play it all the time by myself, every single game, from the very first one on N64, all the way up through 7, 8, 9, not so great, 10, not so great. But with the Switch era, the 3 that they've released on Switch have been amazing. And isn't it so funny how far we've come with Mario Party? Remember how much we hated these games? Look at this. I have the collector's edition, Amiibo edition of Mario Party 10 here. Like when 9 and 10 came out, do you remember how upset everyone was with how they were changing the gameplay and stuff? And then 10, they were saying it was just really generic. I actually have never opened this up. I've never played 10. I want to change that soon though, because I feel like 10 might not be as bad as people were saying it was. What a long way we've come, because now we're finally getting the types of Mario Party games that people want again, and I think that's great. And I really think Super Mario Party Jamboree here is probably the best one on the Switch. I haven't actually played a ton of it yet. It's got the most boards. This game has really big boards, and there's 7 of them, 5 new and 2 returning from older games. And Nadia, my wife, and I, we have played this a couple times together. Mario Party is one of the games that she can get into, and we have a lot of fun playing these games together. So I definitely recommend picking this one up if you have people to play it with. Even if you don't, there's a great online mode as well, but I was super excited for this game, and I'm glad it's finally here, so definitely check this one out. This next one here, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, I just played through Resident Evil 8, had an amazing time, and I have played through the original Resident Evil 4, the PS2 version, and I absolutely loved that game. That was my first Resident Evil game that I ever played. Absolutely loved it. I'm super excited to play this one. I bought it because it was really cheap. I'm gonna get to a lot of games here that I got really cheap from all the holiday sales that have been going on, but I definitely recommend checking this one out. I saw it went down to like $20. I got it when it was like 30, so I wish I would have waited a little bit longer on that, but it's an amazing game. It's gonna be worth it. I mean, I'm saying it's amazing based off the original, and I've heard the remake is really good as well. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from Resident Evil right now since I just played 8, but once I do want to get back into Resident Evil, this is definitely going to be the next one I play. All right, and now we are on to all of the Black Friday games that I got. I've got 5 more games here, and let's start with the big one that I've been playing, and that is Metaphor ReFantazio. I think that's how you say it. I've just been calling it Metaphor because I don't want my wife to laugh at me for pronouncing things weirdly. I don't know. This is the new big RPG from the Persona studio, from Atlas, and it is literally, I can't explain it any better than this. It is Persona, but in a fantasy setting, but instead of collecting demons like a Pokemon game, you're changing your classes. So it's like medieval Persona with Final Fantasy V's job class system, and that is just a match made in heaven of a bunch of things that I really like. I think this is probably going to be my game of the year. Also, looking at all the games I played this year, I think this is one of the only games I've played this year that actually came out this year, which is really funny because there's a ton of games that I was excited for. I know Zelda and Mario Party came out this year, but I don't think those are going to be my game of the year. But I really love this game so far. I'm like 20 something, maybe 30 hours in at this point, and I can't put it down. Nadia, my wife, is probably so sick of hearing the music in this game and just all my characters screaming out their attacks constantly because I'm playing it down in the living room. But thankfully, you know, with the PS5, you can plug headphones into the controller, so it's really easy if I just, you know, want to be in the zone with this game. And I'm not that I'm blocking my wife out, but more that she can block me out because I've got the sound in my headphones. But yeah, I really can't say enough. This game is absolutely amazing. If you like Persona, if you like Final Fantasy, classic Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, definitely check this game out. I see that it's getting amazing reviews across the board, but I don't really see that many people talking about it. I'm sure it's selling well, but I just want to throw it out there. This is a must play, absolutely. And speaking of the Persona team, I've got another one here. We have Persona 3 Reload, the Persona 3 remake that came out this year. It's crazy. I didn't really think about this, but the Persona team released 2 games this year. I haven't started this one yet just because like starting this game and Metaphor at the same time would just be so crazy, but I got this one on a Black Friday sale on Amazon for like 25 bucks, so I'm glad I waited on this one, and I love the original Persona 3 so much. I played it on the PS2 back in the day, and it just really shaped my love for RPGs. I just realized all the games I got from Black Friday are literally all JRPGs. So let's move on to the next one here. This next one, I don't have a ton to say about it just yet, but it is Unicorn Overlord. This one was only 30 bucks on Amazon's Black Friday sale. I just think this game looks really cool. It looks like Fire Emblem, and I love Fire Emblem, but it's a bit more of an RTS, like real-time strategy game, from what I can tell. I love the art style here, but once again, another long RPG, so I'm probably not going to start this one anytime soon, but it was really cheap, so I had to pick it up. And of course, the same can be said here for Final Fantasy 16. Oh my gosh, I can't believe there are 16 of these games now. I've played just about every Final Fantasy except for 8 and 12 and 2, but like no one likes 2. Maybe I'll play it someday. This might be the next Final Fantasy I play, but once again, you know, I was waiting for the price to go down just because I rarely ever buy games for full price anymore. I have such a big backlog, and I just find it really hard to justify paying $70 for a new game that I might not even play right away, so I usually wait for a price drop. That's what I did for this one, and I'll get to it eventually, but it looks pretty cool. And the last game that I picked up on the Amazon Black Friday sales was Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, the remake of the prequel to Final Fantasy VII that was originally released on the PSP. I always wanted to play the PSP version. I think it would be really cool to experience the original version on original hardware, and I would still like to do that one day, but I also thought that the remake just looked really good. We've been getting a lot of really good remakes lately of PlayStation games. Games that I associate with PlayStation, like Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, all that stuff, have been getting really good remakes lately. I think it's cool. I think it's really great to make games, you know, these classic games more accessible for the modern audience, and I'm really excited to give this one a shot. But anyways, guys, those are my recent game pickups for the end of the year here. 2024, man, it's been a crazy year. But anyways, let me know down below what games you've picked up recently. Let me know what you think of my picks while you're down there as well. I'm definitely always curious to see what you guys have to say. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.